So it's time to go through the newspapers?
Yes, so I'm going to
Alrighty.
start. So on the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have budget won't increase public spending, and that's by the Finance Minister, Oforiatta. Nation hosts first Africa Cinema Summit in November. Dam spillage, 26,000 displaced. President pledges relief support. UTAG calls for overhaul of accreditation regime. Kicks against 5 new universities. Payroll monitoring saves nation over 190 million Ghana cedis. 17 institutions in Accra waste 36.11 million Ghana cedis in 5 months.
All right, and we have here the Ghanaian Times. Similar headlines. 26,000 residents displaced by floods, 8,000 victims rescued. And then, of course, yesterday, the Interministerial Committee toured the affected areas. And that's on page 14 of the Ghanaian Times. Ghana to make 61 billion Ghana cedis saving from the debt restructuring for the DDEP. And that's what the Finance Minister is saying after meeting with external investors, and that's on page 14 as well of the Ghanaian Times. Then we have here, Ghana saves over 36 million Ghana cedis after payroll audit rollout, page 11 of the Ghanaian Times.
All right, so on the front page of the Chronicle, we have pack your things and leave quickly. NADMO advises residents affected by spillage. VRA intensifies humanitarian efforts to support flood victims. NDC calls out AG over Frimpong Boateng report. And the scripture for today is from Proverbs 11:20. Listen to advice and accept instruction, and in the end, you will be wise.
Oh yeah, the Chronicle is coming in with the Bible quotations.
Jabbing with Bible quotations.
We have here the Finder. On the front page of the Finder, President sympathizes with flood victims, cautions against politicization of the tragedy as government rules out more support for 26,000 victims. Pages 5 and 6 of the Finder, you can find that story. 16 UTV studio invaders fined 2,400 Ghana cedis each. Sign bonds of good behavior. Remember that story from last week, Chris? That's on page 4 of the Finder. 2024 budget should scrap 3 taxes and reduce import duties, and that is what the FABAG is saying. Government can save 36.1 million Ghana cedis compensation of 17 education institutions, says the FWSC, and that's on page 11 of the Finder. There we have it for the Finder this morning.
Right, on the front page of the Daily Guide, we have Akosombo Dam spillage. Akufo-Addo visits Mepe. Court fines 16 NPP boys 38,400 Ghana cedis. OSP clears Cecilia Dapa's 5 bank accounts. Major Mahama's killers have no defense, prosecution says. VRA assures flood victims of support.
All right, let's do some business from the Business and Financial Times. Debt sustainability. We are on track to achieve targets, says the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta. And that's on page 3 of the BNFT. Yuletide corporate FX demand to sustain strain on Citi. And that's on page 2. So we're talking about, the Christmas season and how that's going to look for the city. So we'll be following that conversation. And under the area of digitalization, Communication Minister highlights importance of security in digitalization. That's on page 3 of the BNFT. And then prioritize support for green businesses, experts urge. That's on page 2 of the Business and Financial Times.
Everybody's actually going green.
Everybody's
going green.
Everybody is going green.
All right, so let's head to citynewsroom.com, pick up your phones, pick up your tab, and you can join us as we go through the headlines. Akosombo Dam spillage, a national emergency. Let's support displaced person, and that's by the founder of the Institute of Environment and Sanitation Studies at the University of Ghana, Professor Chris Gordon. And yeah, it's very important, and that's what we are campaigning for.
That's
so if
right.
you have anything, whatever you have, just reach out to us and Let's support these people. And on the top trending stories, we have Northeast region. NEDCO restores power to Wanchiki. Opportunities abound for financial institutions on the PFJ2, and that's by Brian Echampon. Sims SHS students resort to sleeping in classrooms following fire incidents.
Wow.
How to support victims of Akosombo Dam's pillage through Citi FM and Citi TV's campaign.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And let's go to the BBC. Again, you can follow us if you have your phone, you have your tablet, or you're in front of your computer already. And earlier, there were reports that the U.S. President Biden would be visiting Israel amidst the unrest there. And it's been confirmed. Biden confirms Israel visits as Iran warns against Gaza offensive. We also have a story that's been, making the trends overnight. Police shoot man in hunt for Brussels gunman. And that's, 2 Swedish nationals were killed in the Belgian capital. It's affecting everything at the moment. Then we also have an interesting one here. India judges decline to legalize same-sex marriage. So there's that happening in the world as well. It's also a very big conversation, and I'm sure it will be unfolding as the day goes on.
All right, so that's what we have for the daily. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, sports is up next.
Now let's go to the world of sports. In the Black Stars news, Ghana defender Joseph Adu has ruled out this evening's friendly against the United States due to an ankle injury. And Adu picked up the injury during Ghana's 2-0 loss to Mexico last Saturday in a friendly that everybody is still talking about. Adu will fly back to Spain to be assessed by his club, Celta de Vigo, and a determination will be made concerning his absence from action. Meanwhile, the Black Stars arrived in Nashville, Tennessee, that's in the USA, on Monday for the game that they will be playing against the United States of America. The team will hope to respond positively to the loss suffered against Mexico and get good results against the Americans. And then let's come to the Bet Power Ghana Premier League. So back home, still talking about Ghana football, but how it's doing at home. The Accra Greats Olympics recorded their second win of the season when they beat Accra Lions 3-0 at the Accra Sports Stadium on Monday. A brace from Michael Yeboah in the 12th and 19th minutes and a third from Emmanuel Entry took the tie away from the Lions, and they never recovered. The win sends the Olympics to the top of the league, 9 points, and they stay undefeated in their 5 league games played so far. So those are the most exciting things that are happening in the world of sports. You remember, for those of you who joined us yesterday morning when we did the PL Zone, that our sports desk, Citi News, Citi Sports, let us know that the international friendlies are still happening. So when it comes to the EPL that everybody is crazy about, a lot of your favorite Ghanaian players and international players are still playing for their countries. That's why we have the Black Stars, for example, going to play the United States. So by Thursday, we should have some more EPL action. And when we do, don't forget that you should be tuning in to 97.3 Citi FM, because that's where all the commentary action happens when it comes to the English Premier League in Ghana.